Are you ready for Thanksgiving?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
Once again, I don't have my background because my tree's in the background.
it's okay. It's fine.
Well,
It's close enough to Thanksgiving. I'm okay with things being Christmas themed now. I only have problems when it's before November 1st.
are you drinking wine?
Now with sweet tea in a wine glass. I think since they talking about the OC and the whole episode, they pretty much walked around with like wine glasses. It's like, you know what? I'm gonna be fancy.
Oh, now I want wine. I only bought vodka.
Now problems.
So today we are talking about the season one Thanksgiving episode of the OC
Mhm.
called The Homecoming.
Which I called our episode and Thanksgiving OC Thanksgiving, kind of like a Charlie Brown Christmas. Yeah.
So I have a lot of comments about this episode.
Do you? Okay. Well, let's
Yeah.
roll those credits. Okay. First off, I have never related to an adult more than I do with Kristen. Her trying to cook in their kitchen was me this lunchtime. I did not realize I do nothing in the kitchen. I almost had to text John where this certain like I was making a frozen pizza because I can't make much else. It's like, where is the little pizza thing? I'm looking all through the kitchen and camp. I'm like, oh
You
my god,
needed help for a frozen pizza.
I'm in my own house and I can't find nothing. And then for a second, I had trouble turning on the stove, and then I thought I turned it off. Nope, just left it going. I was like, why is it beeping? So I'll go over there, check it. I'm like, oh, it's still on. I was like, well, I guess that button wasn't the off button. So then I found the off button, and it's off now.
What were you
But
pressing?
I don't know, but I never felt more like I needed a supervisor.
Do you know how to preheat oven?
Yes, because John
Are you
asked me.
sure?
Yeah, but today I wasn't so sure. I was like, maybe I should have just ate that leftover that he told me about. Maybe that's why he kept pushing for me to eat the leftovers because it was microwave friendly.
I just need to see like what the top of your stove looks like that you couldn't figure out where the off button was.
Well, it was labeled clear, I guess, to clear it. And I would think it would be called off. But
Oh, the
clearly,
off button was labeled clear.
I'm pretty sure.
And what did you press before that? That you
Bait.
thought,
I thought it was like this one of those things where it's the same button, like you turn it on, you turn it off. It's the same button.
oh, like an on off. Okay.
Yeah, it's not.
All right. That's
So I related to Kristen so much in this episode.
all right. I guess you won't be cooking the turkey.
No.
Well, it will be cooked. You just don't know how to turn the oven off. So you could.
True. It may be overcooked. And
It might be
the
overcooked.
funny thing, here's how I timed it. I was like, ooh, I've got 11 minutes left on my OC. The pizza says 10 to 12 minutes. When the episode's over, I'll check it.
And it came out good.
It was all right. Yeah. Pretty good for what it was.
All right. So the story had a happy ending. So, do you remember seeing this episode? Like,
Well, I never watched the OC live.
okay.
I watched it on DVDs. So, yes, I vaguely remember it.
Okay. This was like the height of the OC's popularity. I remember they had just come back from that summer break where everybody was wondering if Marissa had died. Seth was in a surprising love triangle.
I know. I loved how everyone was surprised. Like, oh, Seth, not one girl, but two? What?
This episode is very quotable. Like when the parents find out about the love triangle, a drunk Kristen is like, I always knew you were a late bloomer, honey. And she's like, trashed.
Or when they're messing with the turkey and Kristen's doing all this, and Sandy just goes, "That's how your mom held you as a baby." was like, oh, I'm such a Kristen. Like, I never realized I was a Kristen until this episode.
Yeah, this episode is funny, but in hindsight, maybe not so much, knowing that she becomes an alcoholic in season 2.
Yeah.
But we didn't know that back then. We
I
just thought it was
remember
a funny
thinking, I
joke.
wonder if this was like a little seed that they were trying to plant. Like, all right, because she was very much we're out of
Merlot.
Thank you. I don't drink enough, I guess. Out of
Which was
that.
another quotable moment. I have a father that wants to be here for my candy DMs, a family that won't let me cook, and we are out of Merlot.
They wouldn't even let her touch the corn, and all she had to do was turn it over.
She came outside and Sandy was like, Seth likes corn.
Then we have a pat. Y'all have a pat? Pack? Tongue tied.
Even when she gave Ryan the pie to bring to prison, which I'm like, what prison's gonna let you bring pie? Not that I visited many prisons, I just feel like it's not a thing that I've ever heard of.
No, I was the same way when Ryan hugged Trey. I was like, wait, are y'all allowed to hug?
Yeah, everything I've seen you're not supposed to touch.
I was waiting for a guard to go, no touching. I was like, was that just... I've watched a few shows here lately that's...
Also, I feel like a pie they would just rip apart to make sure there was nothing baked into it.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, for the joke, she hands him a pie and says, don't worry, it's store-bought. Because he gives her a luck.
This episode, it's like they were letting us know she is not some homemaker who does anything like that.
Uh-huh.
I don't know why they would be doing that, but to add to that, no, I don't know how to cook or do this or do that. You know, that reminded us.
Sandy and Kristen invited Rachel to Thanksgiving and Jimmy, hoping to set them up.
Oh, I love when she's like, you want to set me up with a thief? Well, you're a lawyer. You know?
I like Kristen was like, oh, you wore that shirt tucked in. And you wore your hair like that. And he's like, do I wear my hair any other way? And she was kind of like, huh.
Well, I was trying to think too. I was like, isn't that how the only way he wears his hair?
Mm-hmm.
And isn't his shirt always like, are we trying to change his whole character now?
And then they tried to spin it, and they like had to rush off me because Rachel showed up. They were like, "Oh, shirt looks tucked in," and she was like, "And your hair looks great."
Oh.
I remember truly being torn, like Seth, between Anna and Summer because I like them both.
I remember being torn too, because I was like, okay, I like him with Summer because they had the chemistry and their little Captain Oates and whatever her name was.
Mm-hmm.
But then I remember just Anna being kind of more like Seth in a way.
This is when I hate when I know behind the scenes stuff because at that point they were both recurring, so it could have gone either way. But the minute Rachel Bilson was made a regular, I was like, oh.
I was like, yeah,
you know, numbered Anna.
It's like, hi, Anna. Nice knowing you.
Unless a miracle happens and you become a regular.
I remember wanting her to become a regular. Well, her and Summer.
See, and she makes a return in season 3 for like a couple of episodes, and she wasn't the same, and I didn't really like it. Also, she had like hair extensions that were clearly hair extensions, and I didn't like that either.
Girl, your hair extensions.
So Julie and Caleb show up. He's played so many other characters on different shows that I've watched that I couldn't remember what his name was on this one.
It's like he went... Yeah, because he's been on Ugly Betty.
Lost.
OC. Dynasty.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if Dynasty was his first time like...
Playing the help.
Yeah. He's in that kind of house in that world, but he's the one having to do everything.
Yeah, he's usually the rich old guy on the show. And I think he usually gets killed off too. Oh, he does. I just realized this. Oh, even in Dynasty where he's the help.
He's been typecast. We're gonna bring you on the show, but just so you know, he's like, don't worry, I know I'll probably die, right?
Well, at least on Dynasty, it wasn't because he was old. It was just because he got shot. Wait,
Yeah.
no, it was a car accident. But he
We
also got shot.
watch too many subs. We can't keep up with the plot line, especially when pretty much everyone has been shot in a car accident.
Falling down the stairs,
Stairs,
blown
Just-
up.
blah blah. You name it.
Just another day as a soap fan. So Julie and Caleb show up, and Sandy calls them the gruesome twosome, which I think he continues to call them that.
I think so.
This is the first time though. And I like how Julie's like, you lost our daughter or whatever. She was like, well, she was supposed to be with you, so technically you lost her.
I know. I was like,
And he
ooh.
doesn't seem concerned. He's just watching football.
I was like, ooh, go Jimmy, turn it back around.
And I liked when they were arguing about that. Rachel was so into the game, she was like cheering, and Julie just turned to her and gave her like a look of death. Like, you're gonna shut up.
She is so good at.
Like, I will kill you.
And with this episode, we kind of get an insight into Ryan's backstory.
Yeah, that's the A plot. He goes back to Chino.
Because it was kind of a lot like what Marissa said, it's just, you kind of just showed up. Like, you forget, technically he would have had a life before the Cohen.
Yeah.
As trouble as it was. But we did learn he has a thing for the girl next door.
Okay, rewinding. Marissa was totally lying when she's like, my mom said it was okay. She couldn't even look him in his eye. She like said it and like looked away.
Which
Like,
is
you can't
confusing.
tell she's lying.
That girl can lie. Like, she's pretty much been.
Yeah. But yeah, I like that. She wasn't intimidated by Teresa. She was just like, I'm the girl next door. And then he's like, I'm gonna go check out the car. She's like, I'll stay here. But yeah, this is the first time we meet Teresa, who comes back later on in the season.
Does a different actress play her? Because I swear, like, she looked different to me. Same one.
I always thought so too, but it's the same one.
There's something about the way she looks in this episode. She seems older, not like in a bad way. Like, she just seems older, but when she comes back, she seems. So maybe it's just the way they're doing her hair or something.
It must be. I don't know if it's that she looks older, but yeah, I definitely remember being like, is that the same girl? Because she did look different.
Okay.
It may have been the hair.
I remember I liked her up until they made her pregnant. And then I was like, I'm not one for a baby. Like, let me, oh, was this your baby or my, type thing. I think it's because Days has done that so much that I kind of sometimes go, okay, it's been done.
You're not looking for that in your primetime show.
Yes. I'm like, I've had enough. Give me something different.
But a teen marriage in a small town, like One Tree Hill, you're down for. Got it.
He was emancipated.
I see where your boundaries are.
Well, because you didn't know if it was Ryan's or not.
It's a thin line, but you know when they've crossed it.
I used to say the same thing about like True Blood in that, like when you're used to watching primetime shows, but when you watch something that's on cable and you start seeing a lot of sex, and then at some point they're just like, there's more sex than your mind can handle. You're like, what? Am I watching porn? It's like you learn where your line is.
Yeah, True Blood was very much that at one point. It was just like, okay, there's a lot of sex and nudity right now.
Yeah, and I watched it with my mother, and I was just like, all right. When Sookie's brother was having sex with a girl by the dumpster and Tara just dumps trash on her, it's like, and I am watching this with my mother. Okay.
Good times. Nice family bonding.
Well, I was like, oh, we love Vampire Diaries. It's like, this will be so much similar to Vampire Diaries.
Oh, you watched True Blood after the fact?
Yeah, we watched Vampire Diaries for, like, we were watching that when it came on live, but we didn't have HBO because, we weren't bougie. We waited for the DVDs, and then that's, how we watched it.
Okay. Um,
Thanksgiving.
so Ryan goes to see his brother, who asks a favor of him, which is to deliver a stolen car that Trey had stolen when he wasn't in prison,
Mhm.
because he's being beaten up in prison for owing the contraband, as we'll call it, to whoever he owes it to. Um, this really wasn't my favorite part of the show. I didn't really care about it. I was more interested in the Seth, Summer, Anna triangle because it was
What was going on at the
comedic.
college was more interesting, yes.
And especially now, I'm really more interested in the adults. Like, because I just feel like probably the same age now as they are in the show
Oh my
currently.
gosh. Oh, yeah.
But yeah, there wasn't really much going on there. Ryan delivers the car. There's almost a shootout because the guys are like, he owes interest or whatever. Marissa saves the day and they go back to Newport.
Did you see the amount of food on Teresa's family's table? I was like, y'all better be having more people come over because if it's just the three of you, that's a lot of rolls. That is a lot of carbs. I will help you with that. I just like, you must have a big family coming over because that's just a lot of food on that table for three.
I mean, side note, there's only 4 of us this year. I'm trying to keep it a little bit healthy, so I didn't buy any bread. I'm trying to do a lot of vegetables, so I got like asparagus. I like Brussels sprouts, so I got Brussels sprouts. My mom's making zucchini noodles with shrimp, so it's very healthy sides. No mashed potatoes, no no macaroni and cheese. We're all very chubby, and we're trying to work on that.
Yeah, I was trying that too, but I stopped.
I wish that was wine so bad that you just chugged. I was trying that too, but I
It would be so much like very on point for this episode,
did.
and then be all like,
um, Summer sees Sandy thinking it's Seth, and she's like, "Ew," and she's like,
but
"Not ew. You're very distinguished."
he was very good. I remember thinking even then I was like, oh, he cute. But he had been in other things I'd seen too up to that point. I can't think of what it was, but I knew who he was.
He usually plays the villain. He had always played the villain up until the OC,
And he plays a good villain.
and
I
then I
did
feel
like
like for a while he was getting like the Sandy Cohen parts, like the dad.
then he took over that Cruel Intentions pilot, and whoa,
Yes. Yeah, he scared me in that.
he scared me too. I was like, ooh, Caleb is not so scary. I thought it was Dan Scott. I did love when Sandy and Anna kind of went in on Caleb at the same time, and he's like, "Oh,
Yeah.
there's 2 of them." Ah, yeah.
And he's like, "Has she seen my report?" And she was like, "It's a band-aid for a bullet wound." See, I liked Anna. She was very witty, and she could like take on an adult. Did she say? She said like an SAT word. She said an anathema or whatever, and Sandy was like,
and I'm thinking, I need to Google anathema. How do you say that? I wasn't good with my ACT. I didn't take the ACT. What am I talking about? Wait, no, I took the ACT, not the SAT. Maybe this was wine. No, just kidding. Jesus turned my tea into wine.
Maybe that's why you didn't know how to turn the stove off. She drunk.
I lost my thought.
What's Sean slipping in your sweet tea?
I don't know, but it's good. No. Oh, look, it's back. The writing in this season is so witty and fun. Like, I feel like maybe they've thought they had since they were a teen drama, they were like, we don't want to be like 90210 because that wasn't too far gone. And they want to be like Dawson's Creek, so they're very witty. And I feel like they're trying to stay on their own. And maybe that's why they put so much into one season.
Yeah, and the show creator was only 26 when the show got picked up. So he didn't know how to run a show.
I know. I remember thinking, I'm going to beat that record. Yeah, I'm like 10 years past that now. Almost. Like, just be happy to have a show.
Listen, we all work at different paces.
Yeah, and mine is slow, clearly, since I can't even get an oven turned on. I'm on the remedial level. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Listen, you have always said that you can't cook, so you have owned that.
It's fair. I prepared. I'm like,
you were honest from the beginning, and now you're getting married. So
I was like, I can cook. I was like, propose now? No. Because if not, I would starve during.
Before you propose, I can't cook. Proceed.
Fair warning.
I liked when the adults were fighting. Jimmy said something, so I guess alluding to that him and Rachel slept together, or they're gonna sleep together, and she was like, "Hey," and he was like, "Sorry, eat a passion," and Joey was like, "Don't expect that to happen a lot."
I think why I love the adults a little bit more now is because it gives me like I'm coming into becoming them, so it's nice to know I can still have some fire in me.
And it's content for your soap.
Yeah.
So Kirsten ends up passed out drunk, and the turkey gets burnt, right?
It does. Is it? One of them's like, "What's burning?" or something, and it's like the turkey. See, I would if I was Kristen, I would have been like, "I didn't touch it." So,
yeah. So they end up ordering Chinese, and it's the last we see of Rachel. We never see her again.
Oh, do we not?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I think this is the last of her.
Oh wow!
Because prior to this, they had her like flirting with Sandy. I think
Uh-huh.
she may have even kissed him.
I think. Yeah.
But Sandy and Kirsten are like the perfect couple. Like, I think Sandy told her. Like, it wasn't even like a secret that came out. He like told her, and yeah, she was like annoyed. But that's why they set up this whole thing. They like worked together to try and get Rachel's attention on somebody else.
That's what I loved about them. They were really good together.
Yeah, it broke my heart when they were having issues.
Mine too. I remember that. I mean, they were just a couple.
Like, that's the gospel truth.
And that's the gospel truth. I say that to everything now. Thank you, Lily Mae. I did not like her character, but she has given me so much with that one little saying. I don't care what it is. John would be like, "I make sweet tea. Do you want some?" Yes, and that's the gospel truth. I will add it to anything.
You're going to your mom's? Oh no, you're going to the church thing, right? For Thanksgiving?
It's not a church thing.
Well,
we are having a family thing at a church gymnasium.
Okay.
That has like a little kitchen. It's for my grandmother and aunt. They go to church. So they rent out the gymnasium. I'm having trouble with my words. And we just have dinner there.
Is it a big church? I've never heard of a church having a gym.
Really? All churches kind of have little gyms around here. Or not all, but a lot of them.
Well, aren't you in the Bible Belt?
Yeah, we have churches are like gas stations and banks here, one on every corner.
How do they fill them up if they're that frequent?
I don't know. I mean, you'll pass First Baptist, and then a few minutes down the road, there's Second Baptist, and then there's First Free Will Baptist, and you have no clue what any of it is. Watch, we want to get some hate for that. I don't know.
But is there anything else to say about this episode?
I thought it was really good. I thought I enjoyed it, but like you said, I could have dealt without the Chino stuff.
Yeah, I remember looking at Ryan because there was like backlash because he was 25 playing like a 17-year-old, which I'm like, okay, Luke Perry was like 28, but all right.
Hey,
um,
Andrea was 30.
yeah, and I was looking at his face because they did a close up, and I'm like, he doesn't look 25. I'm like, he doesn't look 17, but like, I was like, I'd say he could pass for 20, 21.
I look at it this way. If they hired actual teenagers, could you imagine how long it would take to actually film
Yeah, because
a
they'd have to
season
work.
that long? Because they have to go to school, they're required.
Hmm.
They're still technically child labor, so they have to worry about that.
Hmm.
It wouldn't. No, I hate when people are like they're 25 playing 17. I'm like, who cares? It's not
Something
a real person.
something I did notice. It's a set issue, not an issue,
Uh-oh.
but it's a set comment. The shots of the pool house were, I think, the real house that they may have used for the pilot, because I can tell when it's a set when they're sitting out by the pool, and that was
Mhm.
real. And I was like, oh, they must have used stock footage from the pilot for this. Why do I care about this stuff?
Well, the same reason some people care that a 25-year-old is playing
I guess
17.
we all have our things.
We have our thing. I mean, Veronica Mars, this is with the creator was like, I want someone the actual age of a teenager to play Veronica, but then Kristen Bell came in and just she was 24, I believe, at the time, blew everyone away, and they're like, oh my god, she's our Veronica.
Oh,
And
okay.
I cannot imagine anyone else playing that character. And before she was in Veronica Mars, I saw her in a Lifetime movie. I think it's called Grace's Choice or something. She was raising her little brothers, sisters, or something. I was like, she's a TV show. Then boom, she's given Veronica Mars. I can spot talent, which is why I knew we'd be successful.
She kind of started to have like a movie career after Veronica Mars, which is
Mhm.
why I was surprised that she signed on to be the voice of Gossip Girl.
Well, after Veronica Mars ended, the CW didn't want to get rid. Like they still wanted to be work with her, and that was a way to do it.
And she's back for the new one, right?
Mhm. No one has a voiceover voice like that girl. Oh
I
my,
never
that
did.
woman has the best voiceover or voice, in my opinion. I just love her. Oh, I love her.
Speaking of which, Gossip Girl returns tomorrow, the new one.
I was watching episode 5 because I haven't watched it.
You're just catching up to that?
Well, no, I stopped at 4.
Oh,
I
okay.
was gonna watch 5. I was like, oh, I'll watch 5 as it gets closer in case there's a big cliffhanger that I don't have to wait as long. I'm kind of bored.
Yeah, I think I had said something to you like I like it, but it's not wowing me. Like there's nothing like particularly scandalous that I haven't seen
No,
already.
like if Goss, I haven't watched a lot of Euphoria, or is that it?
Yeah.
Show, like that show is little. You're like, whoa, you know. You would think Gossip Girl. I was expecting a little bit more, just Gossip Girl like on steroids.
Because it's HBO.
Yes, but I've kind of gotten, yeah,
Do you think COVID has something to do with that?
maybe I don't know. I just the storylines just aren't as juicy as the original Gossip Girl was. I won't say the real Gossip Girl, but the OG Gossip Girl.
Yeah, I guess I would agree with that. I still like it enough to keep watching though.
Like I like the main. What's the main girl? Who?
Julian.
Yes, I do like her. She's a real steamziller. And the Thomas who plays the pansexual character. I don't know his character.
Aggie, Augie,
No, the tall,
the one with the pink hair.
the one with no, the one with the teacher.
Oh, yeah, I can't remember his name.
He's kind of like the Chuck Bass of this show.
Yeah,
I like him, but the
I
other
like
ones
him
are
too.
just kind of
And
yeah.
I like the Minions. Can't remember
Oh,
their
I feel like yeah, she got some good minions this time.
names.
I feel like they need to put a little extra oomph into their storytelling.
I want Rhoda to make an appearance so bad.
When they said Georgina Sparks' name, I was like, oh my god! Like the way they used to
Oh,
write
when they had Georgina Sparks' kid, I was like, oh my god, that adds up.
when they would write for Georgina, she had some like kind of scandalous stuff happening, and I just feel like the new Gossip Girl's kind of missing that.
Yeah, especially since we're remembering this because we just watched an episode of the old one, so it's kind of like
Mhm.
they had a lot more going on.
Like they're focusing more on the fact that they're rich. I feel like.
Yeah, and like the social media presence and getting popular, and
Which maybe I've just passed that age where,
you care about that stuff.
yeah, and people are going, okay, yeah,
Although,
but
given what we're doing, you should care.
I was just about to say, people are going to be like, aren't y'all doing the same thing?
And
No,
also, isn't it your daytime job also to do that?
it is.
Wait, is that why you do what you do because of Gossip Girl? Has this led you down this path?
What if that is it? What if there's like some subliminal blah 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 messaging that have come to my head that's like social media blah. That would be interesting. I don't know. I don't feel like social media was around when Gossip Girl, the first one, came around.
Yeah, Facebook was starting to blow up.
Yeah, but I still feel like they didn't focus on social media as much as they do in this.
No, because Gossip Girl had a blog, so it was like a website,
Mhm.
and everything was like via text message. It was like a chain text.
Yeah,
Everybody's phones like started blowing up whenever something happened.
but I have a cousin who she has kids who are 18, 15. I don't feel like they worry about social media as much as these kids are worrying about. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Oh God, I've gotten to that age. I don't know. I don't know, and I don't care.
All right. Well, now that we just talked about Gossip Girl for like 10 minutes,
It connects because the guy that created the OC helped develop Gossip Girl, so it's all connected.
I always thought of Gossip Girl as like the OC of the East Coast.
I always wanted, and I think they had planned to do something similar to this with the spinoff of Gossip Girl when they, you remember when they were going to do that with Lily in the 80s on the East
Oh yeah.
Coast? There was talk, or maybe it was a rumor of Kristen and like Sandy popping up.
Oh really? That would have been cool.
And I thought that would have been just so fun. I was really looking forward to them doing that spinoff. I don't know why it didn't happen.
Yeah, weren't they in LA in the spinoff?
I think so. They were for sure in California, yeah.
So they would have if they were around the same age, they would have run into them at some point.
I thought that would have been just so much fun to connect those two worlds.
Wasn't Kristen Ritter one of the sisters?
Mm-hmm.
Like Lily's sister?
Mm-hmm. The
Brittany
younger
Snow.
version.
Was it Brittany Snow?
Yes.
Was
And
Lily?
she was such a good Lily.
Brittany Snow ages like Bianca Lawson. Like she's played
don't.
teenagers for so long. She's like 40 years old still playing teenagers.
It's funny. Some people on teen soaps are like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so tired of playing a teen," and then there are people who seem like they can't age, and they're like, "I have to play a teenager."
Brittany Snow's been playing a teenager since 1998.
Yeah, she's on American Dreams.
She was on Guiding Light, then she was on American Dreams, then she was on Nip Tuck.
Mhm.
She did Gossip Girl.
She finally made it to college with Pitch Perfect.
Then she was a teen in movies. She was in John Tucker Must Die, Prom Night.
Oh, she's so good in John Tucker Must Die. Love her. Sorry, Sophia Bush is in that as well. So,
Sophia.
remember when our favorite teens from like our favorite teen dramas would show up in our movies? I don't feel like that doesn't happen as much anymore.
Yeah.
I miss the 90s.
During Halloween, I don't know how I forgot about this movie. I have it on DVD. But Sophia came up, and I was like, have you ever seen the horror movie Hitcher that Sophia Bush did?
Yes. Oh my God.
He was like, yeah, I think so. I'm like, it's really good, and I haven't watched it in years.
I love that movie. She kicks major ass in that film, and I'm just like, yes.
You know, we love a woman with a shotgun.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm on like guns stay movies. I don't like them a lot. But there is something about when a woman goes,
Yeah.
she's just great. I'm like, it gets me going. I don't know what it is. Like if a man does, I'm just like, okay. But if a woman goes, I'm ready. You know? I'm like, oh, it's so weird how that,
No, I feel the same way.
and GCB, good Christian bitches.
Mhm.
That was on ABC. I love when the mom gets her shot. She has her shotgun and she's like, I don't know what it is.
I want to watch GCB for the podcast, but I don't want to pay for it. So hopefully it becomes streaming somewhere. It might be on like the ABC app or something.
I've got the pilot episode because iTunes used to give you free episodes like when things
really?
first came out. Mm-hmm. And I watched. I was like, man, I want to watch the rest of the series. And I'm like, $20. This was short lived. No, sir.
Yeah, I think if I were to pay for it, that it's cheaper just to buy the whole season than to buy individual episodes, because I think they're like $3 an episode.
Yeah, like $2.99. And then I'll look at the standard version. It's still, I'm like, this show ended like 10 years ago, probably more. You want me to pay $20 for a 13 episode season? No, ma'am. Bye, girl.
You're gonna have to drop that down to like $12.
I'm only like $4.99. Like the first 30 cents in money is really cheap online.
Is it? Well, I won't be rewatching that, so I'm not buying it.
Oh, that's hilarious. That's hilarious.
And if you're confused, watch the episode before this.
That's episode 42, Dirty Sexy Money, season 1.
Wow, we're in the 40s already?
We are in the 40s. This is the only time I've been excited about being in the 40s. I mean, I'm not in the 40s yet. Maybe I should start telling people I'm older so they can be like, man, you don't look like you're 50. I know. Yeah. I couldn't say, oh, no.
All right. So before we go, let's circle back to the OC. Do you have anything else to say about it?
Really good. Highly recommend it. And as per usual, makes me want to watch more.
Yes, that is per usual.
And now
unless you don't like it, then it's not per usual.
Yes. But I was looking through and I was like, ooh, the best Chrismukkah ever. I loved Chrismukkah. I remember when I watched the OC, I was like, I want to be Jewish too.
Yeah, I take issue with something Seth said in this episode. He said that Thanksgiving is his favorite holiday.
I know.
And I was like, I thought Chrismukkah was.
Mm-hmm. I was like, you can tell this episode was written before Chrismukkah happened.
Mm-hmm, that's what I thought. I was like, they didn't know what they were doing yet.
I had the same issue. I can't believe I didn't think about it. But yeah, same issue. I was like, favorite holiday is Thanksgiving. No one's favorite holiday is Thanksgiving. It's the holiday.
No, I was gonna say I think this is the only Thanksgiving episode they ever do, but they do one in season 4.
I was gonna say I thought they did another one.
I think that's the Christmas.
They do a Chrismukkah every year.
Yeah, they do a Chrismukkah every year. I don't think they've ever done Halloween. I think they always skipped it because it came back at weird times because of the World Series, the baseball World Series. I didn't know if you know what the World Series was. That's why I threw baseball in there.
I know some sports.
I know.
I don't know very many.
That is one thing that everybody should know about you. You are very athletic.
Are you being serious? Because I'm like, no.
No, I'm being sarcastic.
I believed you for a second. I was like, I'm athletic. When? What sport? Let me tell my mama. Like, Mama, I'm athletic. I remember the one time at the.
And that's the gospel truth.
That's the gospel truth. That's one time at a school event, I put on a football jersey, and my God, people were like, "Ooh, you look good in a football jersey." It's like, if I knew I looked this good, I would have played football. I just would have been like, "Can you keep me on the sidelines?" I don't want to be
You wouldn't
hit.
have gotten attention from guys. It would have been all women.
Attention's attention.
But you never know. They could have been some like late night rendezvous in the cornfields.
We didn't have cornfields.
I don't know what's in Arkansas. What do you have?
We have the.
What are you agriculturally known for?
As I say, we have the bottoms. Which that's a thing. Like in the town I'm from, there was this like they would go and take their car out to the bottoms and just like small town stuff.
All right.
Hey, us small town people can make it famous. One of my classmates from high school is in a new NBC show,
Oh yeah.
Grand Crew, on NBC. It starts next month, and his name's Justin Cunningham.
Okay.
He was really nice, someone that I remember from high school that was actually pleasant. So we approve of this.
Okay. So we'll support it. It's on NBC though.
Yeah, it's on NBC. So I'm just like, good luck.
Godspeed.
God be with you. May the odds forever be in your favor because they aren't for cruel intentions.
You gotta let it go.
Hey, it's around Christmas time. A Christmas miracle could happen. IMDb TV could tell us Sarah Michelle Gellar is in negotiations to be in the new Cruel Intentions TV pilot for them.
I guess.
Let me have a little hope, Thomas.
I just want her to be on something. I miss her.
Oh, I know. We need to do Ringer too. That show was so ahead of its time.
Yeah. But all right, we're just babbling at this
We're
point.
just babbling. Well, it's what we're known for. It's our brand.
So happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Thank you for joining us. And we will see you next week. What are we doing next week? Oh, we're doing Days of Our Lives second primetime special, Night Sins, and the following Monday's episode to resolve the cliffhanger from that special.
Ooh, and with a name like Night Sins, that better be scandalous.
And you know who's front and center in that?
Carly Chappelle. Carly Chappelle. Crystal Chappelle. I got real life and fictional life. I combined.
You got too excited. You can.
I got too excited. It's like someone just went. Ooh.
All right. Until then, have a great holiday, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.